As far back as I can remember, I have had a love for movement. My parents told me that I would cry non-stop until I could walk. And once I started walking, my mom could not keep up with me. We lived on a farm at the time, and I was frequently found wandering in the horse pastures or on neighboring property. I was caught multiple times trying to climb our horses by their tails. Needless to say, my parents got rid of the horses. I once got away and caused a search and rescue operation to unfold. I was eventually found in a woodchuck hole in a nearby forest. Now, I assure you, my mother was not a careless or neglectful type. I just had that much energy. I had a God-given love for adventure and exploration. I was born in 1988 and lived on the farm until about 1995. And at about that time, things began to change. Electronic home entertainment and the newly emerging video game industry started to take hold. And the industrial strength escapism provided by this newly emerging gaming industry had a profound effect on me. Now, for the first time in human history, people could completely lose themselves in a virtual fantasy. And although the games were just a fantasy, the feeling of accomplishment that you got when playing was very real. Now, by the time I got to my teens, video games had matured. They'd become complex cinematic level experiences. When I was playing, I was a hero. I was a leader. I was a builder of empires. But in reality, I was just sitting on the couch or in a chair, consuming some company's product. My relationship with moving had been poisoned, and I much preferred the quick and easy dopamine hits you get from playing a video game to the hard-earned feelings of accomplishment that come from exercise and skill building. Now, of course, my parents, they were worried about me. They tried and they tried to get me involved in some sort of sport. But frankly, I hated that stuff. The way I was living was divorced from what is good and what is true. As a result, I developed intense anxiety. So much so that when I was 14, I began pulling out my hair. People started asking why I had bald spots all over my head. Now, ironically, one of the positive effects of all these games I was playing was that they got me to develop an interest in the martial arts. And this led me to trying out some classes at a local Taekwondo dojo. When I first started, everything was a struggle, from the coordination to the physical training. I remember being so sore after some of the classes that I could barely walk up and down the stairs. One of my instructors at the time later told me that she thought I was going to quit. Now, if it had been anything else, I probably would have quit, but something about the martial arts was different. For the first time in years, I felt alive again. And possibly for the first time in my life, I felt a sense of purpose. The demands of regular Taekwondo training strengthened my mind and body. I went from throwing awkward kicks and punches to being able to send a heavy bag flying across the floor. After a few years, I could even successfully spar with advanced Taekwondo practitioners. Now, after a while, I did eventually get my black belt and I became an instructor. I was a transformed individual. I felt better, I looked better, and I could move better. Now, when you find something great, what do you want to do? You want to share it with others. And it was this desire to share the martial arts with others that eventually led to me doing the most difficult thing I have ever done, which was to open a martial arts school. Now, if you've never opened or run a business before, let me tell you, it is incredibly difficult. I think I had to learn every business lesson the hard way. During this process, I even had a battle with cancer. But eventually, I finally had my dream become a reality. I had built a successful martial arts school. Since opening, I've been able to teach martial arts to thousands of people in the community and share so many of the benefits that so positively affected me. Let's be honest, the kid who just sat around and played video games could have never accomplished a difficult goal like this. I firmly believe I was only able to pull this off because of the lessons I learned going through the Taekwondo belt system and earning a black belt. It takes almost 4 years or more to earn a black belt. It takes dedication and determination. And when you finally earn that black belt, those lessons are made very real in your life. It was those lessons, along with the many health benefits I got from the physical side of Taekwondo, that I believe made this difficult goal in my life possible. I can't imagine where I would have been without this training. I have no faith in who I was before my exposure to the martial arts. And it's because of that that I say the martial arts saved my life.